Hi everyone, this is Molly from Goblin House Tarot, and this is my first ever video. I've been a lurker on TarotTube for years. I also have weapons grade ADHD, so this morning I woke up and was like, what if I created my own tarot channel? I don't know if I have anything to say that people want to hear. I don't know if I have really anything meaningful to contribute to the space, but I really enjoyed about a month ago, maybe a few weeks ago, Danny Mystic posted a really honest and vulnerable video talking about basically exactly that, what she, is worried about in terms of what she's contributing to the space and, what is real, what is authentic, what matters, and kind of came to the conclusion that I agree with, which is everything matters. I mean, if it matters to you, it matters, and who cares? So I'm gonna give this a try, and maybe I'll stick with it, maybe I won't. I am a champion at getting really excited about something and starting it and then straight up abandoning it like 2 weeks later. So, maybe I'll stick with this and maybe it'll disappear. But for now, I'm just gonna have some fun. So I thought a good way for people to get to know me, get to know kind of how I use tarot, its place in my life, the kind of decks I enjoy, would be to start with the mid-year tarot tag. And I do realize that we're definitely past the mid-year point. I'm filming this at the very end of July, but what are tarot tags if not everyone cheating wildly all the time? So without further ado, let's get into these prompts. So the first one is the deck you've used the most, and that's gonna be this deck. This is my own tarot deck that I made for myself. It is pre-Raphaelite art, and I made this deck for myself. I guess I can, show you some of the cards while I'm talking. I made this deck for myself specifically because I love this style of art, and there are so many incredible art decks out there, pre-Raphaelite art decks out there. The Venus Morningstar Tarot, the Tarot of Aphrodite, what's the one that I love that everyone loves? Tarot of Persephone's Garden, and that's just to name a few. There, I could name a bunch of other ones, but my thing about those decks is that they all have certain art pieces that I love and want to see in decks, but not all of them have all of the ones that I love and want to have included. So I just made my own with all the pieces that I specifically want. And so this deck, I mean, it's not for sale. It's not, I just threw some images into make playing cards and made a deck for myself because these are the ones that I wanted to see. And it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed curating the art specifically to my interpretations of the tarot. That's Sappho as the Hierophant, which I love. And I was inspired by several other decks. I think I have the first edition of the Tarot of Aphrodite, and she used this card for the Justice, this art for the Justice card in that deck, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant, so I used it too. But yeah, and I just love this art style. I think it's gorgeous. Here's another Sappho. There are a lot of Sapphos in this deck. I am gay as hell, just FYI. And I'm also a Cancer, extremely moody, and this just seemed like super Cancer vibes. So I did include all of the astrology signs in here simply because I wanted to use all the art that I possibly could. I also love this Eight of Swords. She just looks bound and pretty stressed out. So I use this deck all the time. It pairs really nicely with a lot of things, and it makes me happy because it's mine. I created it. It's for me. It's what I wanted to see, and I really, really love it. So, and this is one of my, we'll end on this card, which is one of my all-time favorite paintings of Circe. This is by Beatrice Offor, O-F-F-O-R. If you haven't seen it, this is my little Page of Cups. And I'm also a huge Wheel of Time fan. I'm a big fantasy nerd, and it's my favorite fantasy book series of all time. I've loved it for 20 years. And then I also got really into the show, and this card just gives me like baby Moraine vibes, you know, like novice Moraine in the White Tower before her life fell apart. Anyway, that is my own tarot that I created for myself, and that is the deck that I have used the most so far this year. Okay, next prompt is new tarot deck or oracle deck that came into your collection, and I chose this one. This is the System Oracle by Daniel Martin Diaz, and he is an artist that I really, really like. I follow him on Instagram, and I was super excited to get this deck in because his art, I think, is very, how the heck do I open this? There we go. His art is extremely conceptual and kind of, this is upside down, and kind of cerebral in a way, but also very expansive, and it leaves a lot of room for creative interpretation, which is my favorite way to use tarot. I do read tarot predictively sometimes, and I use it, you know, personally in my own spiritual practice, but one of my very favorite ways, and probably the biggest way that I use it, is creatively. I find it to be a huge creative outlet. When I'm bored, I will often just sit down with a deck and pull a couple cards and just think about how those concepts kind of link together. I also like to read a lot of poetry. I'm very moody as well. And I like to sometimes, if I read something that makes me feel some kind of way, I am not even in frame, y'all. I'm doing great over here. But if I read something that really hits something inside me or makes me feel some kind of way, I will pull a couple cards and see how those concepts connect to what I've read. It's my all-time favorite way to use tarot, and I really enjoy this oracle deck for that. And it's a new one for me this year. I was really excited to get this in. So that is prompt number 2, the tarot deck or oracle deck that came into my collection this year, and that is the System Oracle by Daniel Martin Diaz. Okay, prompt number 3 is a tarot deck or oracle deck that could be better. And this was a tough one for me because if I get a deck and I don't like it, I just simply won't keep it. I only have decks that I love. But I guess, I picked, this is the Serpent and Peacock Tarot by Libra Moon. And the only reason I picked this is because there are some cards, I'll have to see if I can find one. Okay, this is a good example where the minors, it's mostly in the minors, where they look kind of, the swords or the cups or whatever the objects are, look kind of, I don't know, not very well integrated into the rest of the artwork. A bit, not pixelated, but just a little rough around the edges. I'll see if I can find some other, the wands are usually pretty good. It's mostly the swords, I think, that have this issue for me personally. I love this deck. I'm a big medieval nerd. Here's another one where they're just kind of, I don't know. They're not that bad. And it's not bad. I love this deck and I use it all the time. But for whatever reason, those, and sometimes the cups as well, but mostly the swords just kind of stand out to me as being slightly awkwardly placed, I guess. Sorry, I'm flipping through this pretty fast because I'm looking for swords. And of course, you know, other than those two. Okay, here's another one. This isn't swords, this is pentacles. But the shovel is just kind of, it's in there. And I don't know, listen, I am not a digital artist. I am not good at this kind of thing. So no shade to the creators of this deck because it's an incredible deck. It's beautiful. I love it so much. But it just kind of cracks me up a little bit when these elements are like plopped on top. So I guess it could be better. I don't know how. But again, I really enjoy this deck. So, you know, I'm not going to be too harsh because I certainly couldn't make something like this. You saw the deck that I made. It was literally art that I found and put straight into make playing cards. I didn't do anything to it. I did not lighten it or sharpen it or do literally anything. I was just like, and that picture. So yeah, technically this is my deck that could be better, but I really don't think it certainly doesn't stop me from using it. So that is the Serpent and Peacock Tarot. I think this is the fine art edition. It has great cardstock, by the way. It's extremely bendy. Look at that. Oh, sorry. I'm still getting used to looking kind of through my phone while I do things. Yeah. Okay. I'll just put that away. Okay, prompt number 4 is a deck you are currently using, and it is this deck. This is the Deleted World Tarot by Joshua Urban. What does this say? Joshua Urban Davis. This deck, I didn't even know. Look how beautiful this is, first of all. I mean, gosh, it's so shimmery. That guidebook is beautiful. The inside of this box with that marbled paper is gorgeous. I always get one card stuck in the bottom, and it's got that surface tension thing. Got it. Okay. This deck is pretty unique, I think. I believe it was a Kickstarter deck. I didn't back it. I didn't even see it on Kickstarter. So I did not back it at the time, but there are still, I think at the time that I'm recording this, there are still decks available. I will check. And if there are, then I will obviously link it in the description box below. I'll link any decks that I show that are available. I think I only have one that I know for sure is out of print. I'll go ahead and leave links for you guys. But this is a really interesting tarot deck. Some people seem to like it. Other people seem to not like it so much. But again, it's one of those, I'm just drawn to anything that's like a little bit strange, a little bit off, but in a very specific way that I can't really describe, which is, I'm sure, super helpful for me sharing this with you now. But again, because I love to use tarot to just think about things, this is a really cool deck for doing that. All of the majors are, I shouldn't say all, I think most of the majors are renamed. The minors have these keywords. They have weird glare. They have upright keywords and reversed keywords. Oh, my hand is shaking. And there's a ton of extra symbolism in the cards, all the astrological symbols. The suits are all renamed. Let's see, let me look in the guidebook really quick. The suits, okay. Components are pentacles. Sorry, it's a very different, take on the tarot, so it's not very intuitive for me at all. Glitches are cups. Okay, I thought glitches were cups, and they are. Illusions are the swords, or the suit of air, and the pixels are the fire suit or the wand suit. And I really like this deck, again, because it shows that different take, but it's kind of, I don't know, I like decks that have a little bit of a philosophical / intellectual bent that make me stretch my brain a little bit. But I just really like to use my brain that way. I like to think about things differently. So I really have enjoyed using this deck. And that is prompt number 4, a deck you are currently using, the Deleted World Tarot by Joshua Urban Davis. Okay, prompt number 5 is a deck that is your biggest surprise. And you guys, that's the Golden Girls Tarot. This is a fandom deck for me. I love the Golden Girls. I grew up watching this show with my mom. It's always something that we would do together. We would have it on in the background on Saturdays when we were kind of doing little cleaning the house chore type stuff. And then when I moved out and on my own, it was a way that we would stay connected. Oh, that's my cat, Maggie. This is Magrat. Hi, baby girl. Hey, baby girl, can you go somewhere else, please? Maggie, good girl, thank you. Sorry about that. Oh, she's back. Well, she's fine, she can stay. When I moved out of my house and out of my own, it was a way we would stay connected. Just, hey, this episode is on right now, or do you remember this funny line? We just text each other random lines from the Golden Girls all the time. And my mom has since died, and I really miss her a lot. And the Golden Girls is a way that I kind of feel like I'm still connected to her. So I scooped up this tarot just because how could you not? It's the Golden Girls, and it's actually really thoughtful and well done. which I don't know why. I mean, I guess I just didn't expect it, you know, because it looks kind of cheesy, and, you know, it wasn't super, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it just looked like it was kind of put together for fun, you know, and I expected it to serve as a fandom deck for me, and maybe not one that I would use to read seriously, but it's actually a great reader, and I don't use it that often because it's a pretty seasonal deck for me, but I'm using it right now because it's summertime. And, you know, I mean, look at the chariot, look at Blanche with her hot muscle dudes. Like, come on, okay? You gotta. So that is prompt number 5, a deck that is your biggest surprise, and that's the Golden Girls Tarot. Okay, prompt number 6 is your biggest deck crush, and that for me is the Shakespeare Oracle Tarot. And this one is out of print, I'm sorry. I have been chasing this deck for years. This was one of my unicorn decks. It was one that, you know, like so many others, I didn't discover until it was out of print and I couldn't get a hold of it. I think it's beautiful. The majors, the illustrations are incredible, but for me, where it shines is the minors. Let's see if I can find some more. These are majors. Yeah, just the scrolls with the text around these beautifully illustrated pips are incredible. I love the colors. And like I said, I've been looking for this deck for a long time, and you know, it's not impossible to find. There are, on any given day, probably, you know, 2 or 3 copies lurking around on eBay, but they go for bananas prices, like hundreds of dollars. And I mean, as much as I love it and as much as I love tarot, I'm sorry, I cannot, like, I'm on a budget, okay? I'm a librarian. Maggie, baby, please. I don't make a ton of money. So I'm not gonna pay hundreds of dollars for any deck, even if it's, you know, my unicorn deck that I've been searching for, you know, 10 years or whatever. I can't. So I was lucky enough, and I never thought this would happen to me. And every time I see, I've been watching TarotTube for a long time, and every time I see creators say this, say that, you know, I never thought it would happen to me, but then I found it. I'm like, but that'll never happen to me, you know? But you guys, it happened to me. I found this on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm not usually a person who talks about money a lot, but sometimes I think it's important. I found this on Facebook Marketplace for $45. $45, which, you know, that's not cheap. I mean, that's more than your average mass market deck for sure. But for a deck like this, that has been out of print for so long and that is coveted, I think, by a lot of people, I could not believe it. And I'll stop talking about it now because that's not really fair. I'm sorry. I was just really excited. And it's my deck crush, you guys. You know, who doesn't want to talk about their crush 24 hours a day? Like, come on. So that is prompt number 6, your biggest deck crush, and that's the Shakespeare Oracle Tarot by Bronwyn Llewellyn and Cynthia von Buhler. Okay, prompt number 7 is your single favorite tarot card. And gosh, this was so hard. I have all kinds of favorite tarot cards, but the first one that sprang to mind, I mean, this is by no means my only favorite tarot card ever, because I mean, I have over 100 decks, like there's no way I could pick just one, but this was the first one that sprang to mind, so this is what I'm going to use, and it is the 3 of Cups by Lady Frieda Harris from the original, like the OG Thoth deck. I absolutely love, let's just zoom in on this for a little bit. Let's get a little closer. Maybe, there we go. I just think it's so beautiful. I love Art Deco. It's one of my favorite styles in architecture, in art, in home decor, what have you, jewelry. And I just think it's so beautiful. And also the 3 of Cups is the second, Magrat, please, baby, second decan of Cancer. And that's my decan, you guys. I'm a Cancer baby. My birthday is in early July, and it's Mercury in Cancer, and that's me. And I just think it's gorgeous. I love the water pouring out of the lotus flowers into these beautiful jeweled pomegranate glasses. goblets. It's lush, it's gorgeous. Maggie, I swear to little baby infant Jesus, my God, I know, I love you so much, I do. You're wrecking my game here, baby. Please. Okay, anyway, we'll wrap this one up because she's getting insistent. This is my, at the moment, favorite ever tarot card. Girl, you're ruining my lighting and everything. Come on, man. Okay, prompt number 8 is a deck that makes you happy. And that is the Tarts Tarot. These cute little pink marbled backs. I've edged mine in these super fun colors to kind of go with the card backs. And I love the illustrations in this deck. The pips are not something that I was super excited about, but as I get to use it, I actually really love them. I think they're cute and clever. But where this deck absolutely shines for me is the courts and the majors. Look at this fool. One leg on the tightrope, the other one straight up in the air. Maggie, you're killing me, Smalls. Good girl, lay down, good girl. I mean, how cute is that? This is a deck by a Polish creator. You can buy it on her Etsy shop, which is Tarts, I think. I will leave it linked below. The cardstock is delightful. It's soft, it's bendy, it's matte. I don't know. Maggie, look at this Empress. Oh my gosh, look at her. Lush, gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I will never get over the Strength card with the dragon and the little elf fairy creature curled up. Baby, can you go lie down over there, please? I will never get over the illustrations in this deck. I think this artist is so incredibly talented. This deck goes in, it's not out of print, but it goes in and out of stock. But if you follow them on Instagram, Instagram I think is just Tarts. If you follow them on Instagram, they always post when they have more decks in stock. So, goodness gracious. So if there currently aren't any available and you want to try this deck out, give them a follow on Instagram and they will post when there are new ones available. Oh my gosh, that King of Cups, stunning. Before we go to the next prompt, I'm looking for the World card because it's one of my favorite World cards. It's gorgeous. Is it under here? Sorry, this cardstock is, it's very luscious and I love it, but it can be a bit sticky. Oh, look at the Queen of Pentacles. So it's a bit, it shuffles beautifully, but if you're just trying to slide through the cards like this really quick, it is a bit tricky. There we go. Look at this, you guys. You guys, I'm gonna cry. It's everything. It's so beautiful, and my cat's tail is in the way. Maggie, in all my life, I never thought you would be the cat that would be the problem with this video. I thought it would be Milo, my little orange boy, but no, it's you, my sweet baby angel, my little rule follower. Okay, well, that's enough for this prompt. She would like me to move on, so let's do that. Okay, prompt number 9 is a great guidebook, and I'm not a huge guidebook person. I like the idea of a guidebook, and there are a few tarot deck guidebooks that I have gotten pretty into over the years. But when I am presented with a guidebook, I have some sort of weird disease in my brain that immediately says, don't tell me what to do. But there are guidebooks that I really like, and this is one of them. This is the Goblins and Gardens tarot deck. My bad, not Gardens and Goblins. I never remember. It's the other way around. And it's not a super detailed, in-depth, involved guidebook. It's just this little, it's a few pages, but the write-ups for each card are so unique to me. Let's just look at a major and a minor. Let's look at Strength because that's the one that I'm seeing right now. Observe the strength it takes to, quote, bend like a reed in the wind, end quote, and harmonize. Express it all. Recognize the determination born into all living things and speak it back into the world. Gently facing your own vulnerabilities bestows the only powers you can truly hold. Tectonic plates shift, flowers bloom, glacial ice tickles the underlands. A lover laughs, and the world is in order now and again. And I mean, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And I'm a sucker for lyrical writing, for metaphor, for, you know, all that stuff. I love that stuff. It's a different take on a guidebook for me. I don't see ones like this a lot. It's kind of poetic, and I think it's beautiful. Let's see, let's find, you know what, let's go to my Decan, my 3 of Cups. Let's go to that one and read that one. Did I already pass the cups? No, here we go. The minors are the same, just really beautifully written. Let's see. These trolls retreat to the dunes and dip in the lake at dusk. Always hungry, never picky, these ladies feast on fruit from the Harisia cactus, as it begins its evening bloom. Clamorous song and dance spirals out on the coast. The chaos of creativity and celebration encircles the trolls. Stars cover the sky like static. I am you are me. Join your comrades in jubilation. The fruits of your collective labor are now upon you. That's so beautiful. Stars cover the sky like static. Shut the front door. How? Man, I wish I could write like that. Anyway, so I love this guidebook. This is one where no matter what, I will always look to the guidebook because I know it's going to say something gorgeous and lush and give me a new way to look at a card that I'm very familiar with. So that is prompt number 9, a great guidebook, and that's the Goblins and Gardens Tarot. Okay, a deck that I want by the end of the year or that I am waiting on. And that deck, I don't think this is going to be a huge surprise. A lot of people have been saying this, and it is starting to come out now. It is These Blue Bones by Rosebay. I am a huge fan of Rosebay. I follow her on Instagram. I think her art is stunning. I'm a big collage girly, and the way she does collage just really, I don't know, it just itches my brain so well. Just scratches that itchy spot in my brain. Hi, baby. Yes, I'll scratch you too. I was lucky enough to be able to snag a copy of the Sistine Tarot while it was still available. And I waited on the edge of my seat for the Lacrimosa Tarot, which I adore. Ow! Do you mind? Which I absolutely adore. And I haven't purchased these Blue Bones yet, just because this was kind of a tight month for me financially. But as soon as I get paid again, that's going to be the deck that I buy because it looks stunning and I'm so excited for it. I can't wait. Okay, prompt number 11. We're coming down the home stretch. A deck that you've barely used but want to work with. And that is this deck. This is Divining Poets with the poetry of Lucille Clifton. And I saw this deck actually not that long ago on channel, what channel? It was Kate from Moonflower Moments. And this deck is upside down. And this is simply a deck of poetry by Lucille Clifton. It's excerpts from her poems. And since this is one of my favorite things to do with tarot is kind of play with tarot and poetry together, I just think this is a beautiful collection of words to have in a deck. And I've only used it a couple times so far, but I've really enjoyed pulling cards. Look at this. It is the life thing in us that will not let us die. I mean, God. I've really enjoyed pulling a card from this deck and then pulling cards from another deck to kind of smash those two concepts together and think about how they relate and what I can take from them, what I can learn from them. We will wear new bones again. We will leave these rainy days. I mean, I hope so. Worlds buzz over us like bees. All ride out on the empty air. Some rivers flow back toward the beginning. God. A changed changer. I continue to continue. And that's what it's about, right? Just continuing to continue. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, I haven't gotten a chance to really spend a lot of time with this yet. It's very new to my collection. I just got it last week. but I'm really looking forward to spending some time with this deck, journaling from what I learned from it, and just kind of taking it with me throughout my days. So that is prompt number 11, a deck that I've barely used but want to work with, and that is Divining Poets. It's a whole series. They have 3 or 4 other ones, I think. There's an Emily Dickinson one, but this is Lucille Clifton. This is the one that definitely spoke to me the most. Also, the backs are cool as hell. Look at that. Love it. Okay, prompt number 12 is favorite video that you've made or seen. And obviously this is my first ever video, so I haven't made any videos other than this one. My favorite video that I've seen recently, I would say, is a video by Bright Light. I want to say her name is Britt, and I'm sorry, Bright Light, if you happen to see this. If your name is not Britt, I apologize. But her video about decks she was influenced to buy and wished that she hadn't, I really, really appreciated her putting that out there, because I mean, whomst among us, am I right, have not been influenced by TarotTube, whether for good or for ill, or influenced by anything, really, to buy anything. I mean, gosh, I am capitalism's target demographic, right? Like the other day, I bought a cheap ass pair of sunglasses from TikTok shop because they had a little like shelf on the inside of the top of the frame that sits over my regular glasses. So I didn't have to get prescription sunglasses or whatever. You know, I try not to just buy everything I see, because A, I can't afford it, and B, I don't need that much stuff, right? But once in a while, you know, I fall prey to being influenced just like everybody else. And especially when it comes to things that I love, which are tarot decks. I mean, I would say a medium-sized tarot collection, I guess. I don't really know. I mean, you know, I know there are people out there with hundreds and hundreds of decks, you know, over 500 decks. That's not me. That would stress me out. But I do have over 100 decks for sure, like easy. And, you know, a lot of those I stumbled onto because of TarotTube. But I've definitely fallen prey to smashing that buy button halfway through someone's video because I saw something that they were using and just went, oh my gosh, that's for me, right? And then gotten it in and it actually wasn't for me, you know? And I definitely, like, you feel a little shame with that because it's kind of embarrassing. You're like, oh, I didn't really think this through. I just buy it. I bought it because, you know, someone that I admire, whose content is really inspiring to me, you know, was really fired up about it and I wanted to try it. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's happened to me more times than I would like to admit. So I really appreciate Bright Light putting that out there and just being like, yeah, this is a thing that happens. I really appreciate it when people are authentic online. That is my main goal for this channel and for myself in general, just like in life, is to be my own authentic self as much as I possibly can, you know, as much as I'm cognizant of being, and not worry too much about whether people are gonna like it, you know, like this is me and that's the deal. So yeah, that was prompt number 12, favorite video that you've made or seen. Okay, we're gonna use my deck that I made for myself just because I use it all the time. So let's give it a quick shuffle. Boop. One more for good luck. And let's pull a card for the rest of the year. Let's see what we got. The Devil, Pandora with her little box. I mean, she's so curious, right? Sometimes you just have to know. Okay, this is really interesting. I just talked about being authentic, whatever that means. And, you know, the Devil card for me, I mean, it can mean all of those, you know, temptation, addiction, what have you. But at the end of the day, I see the Devil as like my most, my basest self. I don't mean based in the slang term, like that's a based take or whatever, which I've never really totally understood or bothered to look up what that means. Excuse me, what that means. When I say my most base self, I mean my most like deconstructed, at the root, the core of who I am without layers and layers and layers of other stuff on top. My most, I don't know, primal self, I guess. My most back to nature self, which is something that I've kind of been working on a little bit. So that's fun. This is fun energy to take into the rest of the year. And okay, Magra is really insistent that I pay attention to her, so I'm gonna call it a day. Thanks for watching, whoever watched this. If anyone watched this, I have no idea. Maybe 10 people will see this, maybe 100 people will see this, who knows? And maybe I'll keep doing it, maybe I won't, but thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.